Figure it out.
Hello, this is Adam Koralik from Figured Out Productions. The following video is a video of some kind, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hey guys, it's Adam here. New video time from my office because I just watched the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase for February 2024, and I thought I would just kind of give some quick thoughts on it for those who didn't want to read all about it or watch it. So here's basically what happened. It was only like 22 minutes long, so hopefully this video doesn't end up being longer than it. I really doubt that it will. But yeah, and so we're just going to kind of go over mostly what happened, if there was any surprises, that kind of thing. Just kind of truncate it all for you because a lot of people have jobs in real lives and stuff and don't have time to watch those things. So but yeah, we'll go over that. So if you guys could do me a favor though, if you could please like, comment, subscribe, and check out all the social media stuff, description, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel, etc. I appreciate the support. It's all in there. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on. So first of all, it wasn't very long, as I said, and the whole thing was really mostly about games that are about to come out earlier this year, and then there was a few kind of announcements for stuff coming later, but it wasn't like that crazy. And keep in mind, this was all third-party stuff. There was nothing from Nintendo themselves. This is just them kind of using their platform to advertise games that are coming to Switch that they themselves don't make. So that's key. So if you're like, oh, was there a new Mario surprise or Zelda? No, nothing like that. So the first thing they talked about was a game called Grounded, which looked interesting enough, but the funny thing about that is that I noticed this immediately. It's made by Xbox Game Studios, which says more about that than anything else. And, you know, all the stuff recently with Xbox and them putting more content on other platforms. That one was first and foremost at the center of it. Now, how many of these games were actually previously announced, I'm not really sure. A couple of them seemed like brand new, but then again, there's some that, I mean, since I'm not a fan of some of these things, then, you know, I don't know if some of these have already been announced or whatever. But anyway, yeah, this is some stuff coming up at the very least. But yeah, I thought that was interesting that Xbox Game Studios was doing that. Then there was a game called Land of Fumes. I don't really remember much about it. It was like a little character, side-scrolling type of adventure type of thing. And that's a terrible description, but there's a lot of games like that. A Ranger, like ARR, ANGER. Then a game called Unicorn Overlord, which was like almost like an RTS type of thing. It was made by Sega, actually. Sega actually had a lot to do with this. Monster Hunter Stories. Then Epic Mickey Rebrush, which I actually thought was kind of an interesting one because Epic Mickey was a pretty cool game.
Oh, hey, how you doing there? I actually had a really good game for the Nintendo Wii, but it was trapped on the Nintendo Wii. Now, it will no longer be trapped on the Nintendo Wii.
Which I think is a nice perk. It'll come out on the Nintendo Switch, and they called it Rebrushed, which was kind of a cute way of saying remastered. So that'll be more widely available. And these aren't necessarily all exclusive to the system, by the way. It's just that it's Nintendo, so they don't advertise other people's. Typically, they just don't mention exclusivity at all when it's not. Next up was Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. I don't know anything about Shin Megami Tensei, but shout out to Atlanta Dave in my Discord. I'm sure he can tell you every single thing about it. He is to that franchise what I am to Shenmue, so he'll tell you all about it. This one was probably the most exciting one to me. The Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, which will clearly include Battlefront 1 and 2 Star Wars games. They did mention, about various DLCs. Fun fact about Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the original Xbox had exclusive DLC content. Some characters like Asajj Ventress and Kit Fisto and a couple of extra levels that weren't playable on the PS2 version or even the PC version, at least not natively. And so that content will be in this, so that's cool. There's no word yet if this will be like on other platforms. To be fair, the original Xbox versions of 1 and 2 are available on Xbox One and Xbox Series X as backwards compatible titles with the DLCs all included. So I don't know if they don't care about that or what the deal is, but at least, yeah, this is coming. That I actually probably will pick up pretty much immediately. I'm very curious because I love those games. And if they did anything else to them where they added more content, though they didn't really elaborate on that, then I don't know. But that would be nice. Extra levels, new stuff, who knows, bug patches, high deafening, what terrible phrasing, obviously, but you get what I'm trying to say. Anyway, the next one up was South Park Snow Day, which I do know that's a game that wasn't new or anything. They just showed more of it. I don't know how that ended up back in THQ's hands. It's no longer at Ubisoft's, apparently. I don't know what happened with there. Sword Art Online. I don't remember anything about that. Gundam Breaker 4, and, you know, mech stuff, Gundam stuff's not really my thing. Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. This one actually was interesting, not only because it was a Sega title, but this one is actually exclusive. It actually said that straight out. Now, knowing Sega, this is going to be a very temporary exclusive thing. They'll probably put this out on the Switch for like a year, and then maybe later they'll throw it up on other ecosystems, but that's just a guess. At the moment, anyway, it's definitely exclusive. They're also claiming it's kind of the return of Super Monkey Ball, which is not entirely accurate, as they have had other games, like Banana Blitz, but those were like HD remasters and stuff like that. I guess this was a new one from the ground up, I guess is the way they would interpret it. But either way, yeah, there'll be a new Super Monkey Ball game. World of Goo 2, which looked kind of like a creative little, almost like puzzle game, but not quite. But anyway, fine. Fantasy Life, which to me just looked like Animal Crossing, but you know, that's probably an injustice to both franchises, but that's just my first impression when I saw it. Another Crab's Treasure, which kind of had a unique premise. It was, you know, the idea that you're playing as this crab, you know, and crabs, and, you know, various ocean life forms, various crustaceans will basically take, like, you know, they'll live in shells, and then when they get too big for their shells, they leave it, and they have to, like, get other bigger shells, and sometimes they even use things like garbage, like cans, to live in. That's, like, a real thing that happens in nature. And it seems like the basic premise of this is, like, a crab is trying to pick up trash. I don't know if it's to get a new home or whatever it is, or they're very loosely using that connection, but just kind of like looked like a kind of an interesting premise for a game. Penny's Big Breakaway, which I think is a brand new announcement, and it's actually made by Sonic Mania's team, its development team. They even mentioned that straight out, because, and I think that was the only game where they said, like, hey, did you like this other game? Well, this team made it. You know, I think this was the only one where they did that. So that alone, you know, raises an eyebrow, because Sonic Mania was a very good game. It almost looks like a Sonic game, sort of, without the character, without the licensing, in a sense, like, but not like a traditional Sonic. It doesn't matter. Point is, it looked kind of interesting. Then there was a thing called Suika Game, which I'd never heard of, to be honest with you, and I guess there's some sort of DLC pack, although there's a member in my Discord who lives in Japan, and he said that game is stupid popular in Japan. Like, people are always playing that stuff on their phones. So this is probably more aimed at them, but either way, it's going to be a thing, which is cool. Pepper Grinder. Yeah, I don't remember anything about what that was. Pocket Card Jockey Remastered, which was, like, they said solitaire and horse racing combined, and it's a remaster. So it's apparently popular enough to demand that. I've never even heard of it. Then they just said they did a couple of game announcements. The first one was kind of not that shocking, but it was cool to see all the same. There was 5 Rare games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. When I say Rare, I mean Rareware, the developer, which used to develop exclusively for Nintendo stuff until Microsoft bought them. And then they haven't really touched Nintendo stuff since. I don't remember all the games offhand. Blast Corps was probably the most exciting one, the one that was on the N64. Killer Instinct 64, I think, was one of them. A couple RC Pro-Am, something like that for the NES. I want to say Snake Rattle and Roll, and I think there was one more. Those are all coming to Nintendo Switch Online, which really just says that there's a greater partnership agreement between Microsoft and Nintendo, which, again, is not that shocking, considering, A, that Microsoft has been more like, hey, whatever, let's put our games on anything. And, of course, literally the first game of this entire stream, well, it wasn't a stream, it was actually a preloaded video Nintendo made, was made by Xbox Game Studios, Grounded. So, yeah, only 5. I thought, you know, first when that started playing, I was expecting, like, the entirety of Rare Replay to suddenly be available on Nintendo Switch, but that's not the case. And then the last game they talked about was Endless Ocean Luminous, which is a new Endless Ocean game, and I think that was, like, the big surprise announcement. I never played the Endless Ocean games. I think the first one was out on the Wii. Yeah, so, but yeah, that was it. There really was nothing else to it. So the big one, I can't believe I'm saying this, and it feels like I'm part of the problem here, but the one I was most excited about was the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection, just because those 2 games mean a lot to me. And when I say part of the problem, it's like, that's not a new game, it's a remaster. If that has any chance at all of driving them to finish up the original Star Wars Battlefront 3 and releasing it, great. If there's even the smallest chance of that happening, then I'm all over it. I'll support this. Plus, I do love those games. Not that I have any problem playing them. I'd be more interested in a Switch version if it did something interesting and new. As in new missions, new characters, new levels, whatever it is. Because if it's literally just 1 and 2 just slammed onto a Switch cart, then it's not that interesting, because I already can do that with the Xbox versions, but especially on the Xbox Series X. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure we'll find out more information. But yeah, that was pretty much it, guys. So hopefully you guys liked this little more truncated version. You can watch the original Nintendo Direct if you want. I'll put a link in the description. You can check it out if you want to see any of the clips of this. But honestly, that was kind of all there was to it. So thank you guys very much for watching. Again, if you could like this video, comment down below, subscribe if you've never done that before. Tell me which of these games you're the most interested in, if any. What were your thoughts on the whole thing? I'd always interested to see what's going on, what people think. And of course, check out all the social media stuff in the description. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, Patreon, Spreadshirt, Travel Channel. All that stuff's down there. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you all later.